As we look at the beautiful scene of Chaco Canyon, one might ask themselves, how did they live here? How did they endure these harsh winters without electricity, without running water, without grocery stores? How did they do it year after year for hundreds of years? You can also look among the Plains Indians. How did they endure out there in the harsh cold? How do they do it? It's because we have inside of us this powerful spirit, that will to live, that will to make a difference, to build something, to leave a legacy. And I think that's really important. And so I look at my own village of Taos Pueblo, and I think the builders that built that, and it's been standing since 1600 AD. What kind of men and women were they? What kind of children did they raise that had the tenacity, that had the courage, that had the work ethic, that had the vision, but yet they did it. And they leave a legacy that tells us that we have that same spirit inside us, that we have the same courage to step forward now and cross our own bridges. When I finished high school, my dad said I would go to college in a place called Oklahoma. I didn't even know where that was. I came from the small village of Taos Pueblo, New Mexico, and I thought to myself, whoa, wait a minute. That's too much of a step to take. But I started to take little steps, one step at a time, and I found out that if you take one step at a time, you can cross those barriers. You can make friends. You can adjust to college life, and you can accomplish going to school and making it and graduating from college. Because after all, many Native Americans have crossed that same bridge. They didn't know how it was going to be like on the other side, but it was worth it, and it is worth it to go to college and to finish.
You've done all these little things in your life, and big things, and people helped you cross that bridge to get to that point. And that dream can become a reality. Kids can dream about things now that would only be a dream because it may not exist. But it may exist because of their dream, and they go on to pursue something in that, and they make that dream a reality. Be it, gee whiz, we've got cell phones, we've got computers, we've got all these remarkable things because somebody had an idea. And somebody had the knowledge to put that idea into practice and to develop it. And if it wasn't for these dreamers, you would call them, we would enjoy an incredible amount of things. I would never had a chance to fly in a space shuttle. I was born in Oklahoma. I graduated, went to college, didn't do very well, wasn't motivated, and was kicked out of college my first year for low grades. And then I worked for a surveying firm in the mountains, and the gentleman I worked for really convinced me if I wanted to make something of myself, I better get back in school and get a degree. I loved what I was doing, but I only made $4 an hour, and he rightly pointed out that you can't live on minimum wage, certainly not with a family. And so I took his advice, went back to school, earned my degree in applied mathematics, to join the Navy, and went into flight school, came out first in my class, and I went on to become a naval aviator. And I went from there into test pilot school, putting the mathematics background I had in college into practice flying airplanes and evaluating airplanes and being able to talk to engineers and understanding what that mathematics was for. And I needed a master's degree to be competitive, and the Navy sent me to Naval Postgraduate School. It's been about 2.5 years of, back in school again, earning a degree in aeronautical engineering, and then I applied to NASA again, and I was selected. I thought, I'm actually going to space. I'm actually going to go where I wanted to go for just a long portion of my life.
And this is John Harrington, Mission Specialist number 2, our first Native American in space.
MS2, this NTD, I have you loud and clear. And good afternoon, John, and welcome aboard.
The engines kick in, you're going somewhere. The solid rocket boosters light, off you go. But you're focused on your job. You're so focused. People say, well, you're looking out the window, were you comfortable, were you scared? And I say, well, no, I'm doing my job. I'm looking straight directly at the stuff that I'm responsible for, because that's what I've been trained to do. It's not a joy ride, it's not a free ride. And then when you get to space, it's a totally new environment, and things are floating, you're floating. We flew to the space station, myself as a flight engineer. While we were there, I did 3 spacewalks to help assemble a large truss on the front of space station. And it's about the size of a school bus, 30,000 pounds. And we stuck it to the side of space station with a robotic arm, and then my job and Mike's job was to go out and help make a lot of fluid connections and cable connections, data, fiber optic cables. A lot of people ask me, what does your heritage mean to you? And I said, I think it's everything. It's the kind of person you are, be it my Chickasaw heritage, the heritage of my dad's side. I had family in Oklahoma before Oklahoma was Oklahoma. I had their Indian territory. I had family come into Oklahoma. after that. So in both sides of my family, you believe strongly in who you are and the strength of your family. My Chickasaw side, certainly I have great strength that, persistence. I mean, they are still here. They are doing phenomenally well in the state of Oklahoma. They are entrepreneurs. They have great leadership. They have great government. They've been doing this since however when before the Western folks ever came to the United States. So they've been able to survive and persist and be very successful given all these obstacles that have been put in front of them by the persistence, being able to work and solve and work through a problem, many problems. I think it's just testament to who we are and the strength of endurance. You see it all around here, you see it all throughout the United States, you see it. Any indigenous group that's had to deal with colonization and to be able to survive, be able to persist, and to do very, very well, I think speak incredibly highly of people and their heritage, and I'm certainly very proud of mine.
We are capable because we have been successful. In 1491, we were successful in our world. The world changed, and we can still be successful in today's world as long as we are willing to use the tools, the tips, the strategies, use our native wisdom of the past to help us be successful today.
I think the biggest thing to remember is that there have always been people who have done it before us. Maybe it wasn't charting new territory with going to college or going to graduate school, but there are people, our ancestors, our family, there's always been someone who did it first. I think about my own family and about my Cherokee ancestors, my Cherokee relatives, and the reasons why we need to be proud of being Native people.
I want to be a surgeon. Someone who can actually help and do something about that person, actually physically help them, not just physically, but mentally. Give them that hope and opportunity that they can do something also. That's what I want to do.
Wherever there's failure, there's opportunity. I've been living on my own since I was 14. My mom and dad are alcoholics. My dad, I don't know where he's been for the past year. My mom, I know she's in jail, and I'm out here on my own. But yet, I still have that mindset to where I want to go to school and become what I want to be, because that's my dream. That's what I always thought about. I crossed many bridges. I crossed it from maturing into something that I would have never been, and learned how to take care of things on my own. So basically, it's like one main bridge into becoming yourself and seeking yourself.
I do not regret leaving drugs and alcohol behind. I do not regret it a single second. Drugs and alcohol took so much from me. It took time away from me. It took thinking power. It took energy away from me. It was just a big old waste altogether. All that time I spent getting high, I should have been reading a book. I should have been doing my homework. All the times that I chose to use alcohol, I should have been at home with my mom and dad helping them.
I come from a long line of people who didn't see college as necessary. It was immediately, okay, we're out of high school, we got the degree or we got the GED, I can get a basic full-time job, get to work. You'd end up in the field somewhere at 60 years old, still working as hard as you were at 25, for not much money.
You have to be pretty strong-minded, have a lot of courage, and just to cross your own bridge.
I need the education to better myself. I want to be able to go further in my life than just a fast food job.
And that's not what I wanted. I wanted something that I felt would last. I wanted something for myself and hopefully as an example for my family.
There are many bridges that are just straight across, but if you look behind me, you will see that this bridge goes up and then it comes down. That's how life is. If you go to college, you might think it's too hard, but you can do it. There are obstacles, there are challenges, but once you get up to the top and then you get over the hump, it comes back down and things are easier, and you will not regret it. You will love it. You'll have so much pride in your accomplishments.
I guess in life there are several bridges you can choose to take. And when I was at that cross point in my life as to which bridge to take, as far as the bridge of alcohol and drugs or the bridge of academic success, I had to look at the consequences of each choice that I would make. If I chose a life of alcohol and drugs, I saw that I would live in poverty and have nothing to be proud of. But if I left that alone and didn't bring that part with me to cross the other bridge towards success. I saw the consequences of that life and I liked it. I saw the consequence of having a nice home, the consequence of having a good, happy family, the consequence of having a long life, and that's the bridge that I chose.
Go to where the knowledge is, where you can learn to be successful. That is the key. This being scared to go out, well, you know what? That's not our culture. Our culture was we go where the opportunity is. And we hunt, we fish, we gathered. We didn't stay at the raspberry bushes where there was no raspberries. We went to where they were. We moved around and we did those things because if we didn't, we died. So our Native youth need to look at it this way. They are going on a hunting mission. And that hunting mission is for knowledge. And if it's not on our reservations, be okay with traveling the globe to be able to get it so that you can create a wonderful life for your family, for your nation, for the world as a whole. And if you choose to go back to your res, fantastic. But at least you've got that knowledge and you just didn't sit there going, oh gosh, there's nothing here for me and all this. It's scary out there. Go on a hunting mission, go get the education, bring it home, and be successful.
So anyone that wants to go to college and really has a desire, you have to start now, just like springtime.
As a counselor, I want to do what I can to get them moving further and forward across the bridge of opportunity for them to reach their goals. Many of them have big goals, they have big dreams, big visions.
As long as we read and do our homework is a big thing. As long as you do your homework, I think you're going to be ahead of everyone.
Well, I study every night, do my homework, ask questions if I don't get it, go to my teachers, take notes, really good notes.
Doesn't matter what's in your way, you can do it. And once you get the diploma in your hand, you take one huge step into your life.
I mean, school is definitely one of the bridges to get to that career, but just the positive attitude and the support of your family and the support of others and just having principles, having guidelines to your life.
You have to be a little bit assertive. You have to get up to the front. You have to participate. You have to answer the questions. You can't just sit back and shrink into the seat, you know. You have to participate.
I'm taking 3 AP classes this year. I'm taking AP Physics, AP Calc, and AP Government.
I've had to cross bridges myself in order to get where I'm at today. It hasn't been easy. It's been an uphill climb. I struggled in school. It wasn't something that came easy for me, but I knew that if I wanted to make it, that I would have to just work twice as hard, and that's what it had to be sometimes, was I had to work twice as hard as some of the other kids if I wanted to get the grades that I needed to be able to, you know, graduate high school and be able to go on to college and work there.
I've been taking ROTC class at the high school. It helps me to build confidence in myself, to be a leader, how to help others to be leaders.
Look at the bigger picture of things. I tell this to my high school students that, you know, it's just 4 short years. It's not very long.
I had thoughts of dropping out because I just couldn't handle the extra pressure of having to take care of my brother and sister and having to go to school.
Sure, it might seem like a lifetime now, but soon you're going to be out of here and you're going to barely remember high school. And then you go on to the next chapter of your life, which is college, and it's very short-lived as well. So, you know, just stay focused on your goals, be committed.
I know it's not easy to figure out what you really want to do, but start thinking about it and start preparing.
You can't give up on yourself. You gotta always keep going forward. You may have some bad times, but hey, it's how it is sometimes in life. You just gotta go past it and move on to better things. So that's what I plan on doing. That's one of the bridges I plan on crossing, is just going straight to college and creating a better future for myself.
It is very, very difficult to cross a bridge by yourself for the first time. But you find somebody who cares about you, who supports you, and is there for you no matter what. You find that one cheerleader, and it will be so much easier for you to do that. That cheerleader may not be somebody that just jumps out all of a sudden. It may be somebody that you seek. It may be a mentor who doesn't realize that they're your cheerleader in just the smallest of comments or the smallest of deeds.
They're not going to know that you need help unless you ask them, or they're not going to know that you don't know something unless you inquire about it. So you really got to be the first one. You've got to be proactive about your future.
The teachers, the coaches, the parents, anyone that's pushing you wants you to be successful. They're not your enemies.
Being in high school is a bridge to cross because in my freshman and sophomore years, I didn't have a lot of good friends around me. You know, they always encouraged me to ditch and to try marijuana and to do things, you know, that weren't of my interest, you know, and I did do those things, and it did hurt me academically. It did set me behind in my goals. You know, it made my parents angry with me, and it took away some support and trust that I had built up with them. But that was a mistake I made, and I learned from my mistakes, and I corrected myself my junior and senior year, and I just stuck with my academics, and I listened to my mom and dad and gave them the respect that they needed, and I just kept myself motivated and away from drugs and alcohol and people like that. I surrounded myself with people that I thought would be successful in their lives, and I wanted success in my life. So surrounding myself with people that are successful made me successful, and I'm graduating now.
Right now, applying for colleges, getting scholarships, trying to get into many summer programs I could to help fulfill that goal.
Life's not easy, but the obstacles that you overcome give you this huge feeling of achievement.
Keep your eye on the goal, and you know, obstacles is the only thing you see once you take your eyes off the goal.
Keep going, keep moving forward. There are a lot of opportunities out there for you. Just keep one foot moving in front of the other.
I really think you gotta really want something.
You have to remember that the Creator loves you, and He believes in you. Even if you don't believe in yourself, He believes in you.
My father was a very supportive kind of person. And so when you lose somebody who's like the biggest impression on your life, you feel like there's no real goals you can actually achieve, because if they couldn't do it, how are you supposed to? So some of the harder steps are the first, and when you fall, you always have to think, and this was something my dad always told me, you fall 6 times, you get up 7.
You know, I hear a lot of bright, eager Native youth who say, I want to go to college after high school. I'm all for that. But just like crossing the bridge, it takes preparation, it takes determination, because anyone going to college, it requires filling out forms, it requires paperwork and deadlines.
When you're applying to college, it's important to look at the websites and talk to the admission officers and find out the deadlines for the schools that you're applying to.
Visit the schools, talk to students, talk to faculty. I think a lot of students are intimidated by faculty members sometimes, but I think for the most part, faculty are very open to talking, not with just university students, but high school students and junior high school students as well. So get out there, ask questions, develop your support system.
So you need a group of people to be able to help you. And one of them is the school counselor. And that counselor has access to everything that you need, deadlines, dates, application materials, test dates, all of those things, and you need to have them in order to fill them out on time.
Trying my best, taking all the tests that I need. I'm trying my best to score high on the ACTs. I plan on keeping up my grades in high school, because I heard that if you keep your grades up, your transcript will look good on you in college.
So the college application process itself is kind of divided into 2 halves. There's sort of a numbers half and then a more kind of qualitative personal half. On the numbers half, that's going to be your transcript and your test scores. The SAT, the ACT. It's not a test that you can go in cold and sit down and take and be your most successful at. It's something that you can definitely improve with just a little bit of practice. So there are plenty of resources for students out there. There are free practice tests online. There are books that you can purchase. Local libraries have the books that you can check out. And then the other part of the numbers side is your transcript, your high school transcript, which is your record of the courses that you've taken. And this is very important to colleges to see what your academic background has been. Colleges are going to look to see that you've been challenging yourself academically, taking advantage of those honors courses or AP courses if your high school offers them, and taking a good variety of coursework. And they also definitely are looking at the grades, but everything is taken in context. A student who's at a rural reservation school that might not have any honors or AP classes can't be expected to have the same sort of schedule as a student from a large public high school in San Diego that has all of the offerings you can imagine. Colleges like to see that you're ending on a strong note. Maybe you had a rough start in your freshman or sophomore year, but as long as you're on an upward trend, that's what they like to see. And then on the other side, the personal side, those are the pieces where students really get to let their personality show and tell the college what it is that they'll be bringing to that college community.
A lot of the extra stuff looks really good on your applications for college because they like people that get involved.
Some schools will ask for a list of your extracurricular activities, so that's when you get a chance to talk about the sports you've been involved in or the clubs or the after-school activities. But for Native students, it's really important to list your cultural activities, the fact that you're involved in ceremonies, the fact that maybe you go to powwows. It's something that makes you unique in the application pool. Colleges want to see that you are also looking outside of yourself and that you are involved in public service, involved in the community, because those are life skills and character attributes that you'll bring to the college campus.
For college applications, you have to write essays about how you've helped your community, how you've helped others. And it's good to go volunteer, go help others in need, go do Special Olympics, go help at a nursing home.
In addition to that list of extracurricular activities, the colleges will ask for a personal essay, and that is your chance as a student to let your personality come through.
That's how they're going to know you, is on paper first, before they ever get to talk to you, before they ever get to meet you. Your personality, your snapshot of you is going to be on the page, and that's why it's important to learn how to write well.
So it's your chance to talk about if you've overcome any large obstacles in your life, if there have been things that you have really struggled with and overcome, that's a great chance to talk about it. It's also an amazing chance to elaborate more on your Native background. Be honest, talk about your involvement, talk about why it's important to you and how you're gonna bring that to the college campus. Talk about things that you're passionate about.
They are very strict about deadlines, and oftentimes they don't give you an extended deadline the way they do in some high school classes where they say, oh, okay, turn it in next week or just for a few points off. Those deadlines are very strict.
So then the final part outside of the essay are those letters of recommendation. It's really important to build up those relationships with your teachers and make sure you give them plenty of time to write those letters. Don't ask them the week before the deadline, tell them early on. And when you ask for those letters of recommendation, you actually have a lot of control over what goes in that letter. So if you sit down with your teacher, if you give them a copy of your personal statement, say, this is why I want to go to school, these are the things I'm telling the admission office, talk to them about why you liked their class, maybe a favorite paper that you wrote for them, or an assignment that maybe you really struggled with in that class but ultimately ended up doing very well. And remind them of these personal details, because the more personal and more detailed the letter can be, the better it is for us as admission officers. So the more help you can give your teachers in writing that letter, the better. All of those personal details are only going to help in the long run.
There are scholarships and grants for people that want to go to college. With a little research and a little time, you can find out specifically what scholarship you might be able to apply for. There's all kinds. It's all on the web.
You're going to invest in your college education wherever you go, but you got to find a school that's going to make an investment in you.
Getting a scholarship, even if it's just $1,000, can help a lot. But if you work hard in high school, you could get that scholarship.
My best advice is apply for lots of scholarships and lots of colleges.
Some of those are available out there simply because you are American Indian.
The funding for these different scholarships and the fundings for these organizations that offer funding for Native students going to college, it doesn't just appear. It comes from donors, and it comes from people that have put forth an effort to provide these scholarships.
To find resources, you really got to go out there and look. You can't be passive about it. You can go online, you can go and put Google search American Indian Scholarships, which is actually how I found American Indian Graduate Center.
They just, again, have to find that cheerleader that believes in them and that will help them themselves cross those bridges.
You've got a financial aid office, go talk to the counselors. Don't let help pass you by just because you're afraid of talking to it.
We have institutional commitments from financial aid to scholarships to our staff and faculty to our course offerings that have the American Indian student in mind.
If you really like a specific field, you can get a scholarship in just about anything, but you've got to go find it. Otherwise, you're just going to be somebody else working at a McDonald's.
Most schools will require the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and that is available online at fafsa.org. And it's kind of a confusing form, but there are many resources to help families fill out that form. High school guidance counselor offices can help with that. There are online resources. There definitely is help, so don't let the form itself scare you away, because that is what most schools will use to determine the amount of financial aid for students.
There's a lot of funding out there that is available, but you need to apply. You need to make the effort, you need to get the applications, find out what you need to get together to send in with those applications, and then actually sit down and fill them out and actually write the essays and make the copies of your transcripts.
You're going to have to write an essay describing yourself and what you want to do in life.
If it really gives you, some anxiety, go to your school counselor, go to a mentor, find someone that maybe has filled out applications before, and just look for help, because there is help out there. People can help you fill out these applications.
If students took the time to just seek out those and maybe had a cheerleader, had someone to help them out, there are a lot of bridges that they could cross.
There's tons of websites and tons of resources through guidance counselors, through principals, through even teachers.
You can always call the financial aid office and talk to them, or even if you have questions about the way the package is structured. If you don't understand the terms of some of your loans that you've been given, call the financial aid office. The whole process of applying to financial aid is confusing with all of the different options for students, but there are resources out there to help you figure it out, and the biggest one is the financial aid office at your university.
Something as simple as I'm calling, this is so-and-so, I'm calling up to follow up on my application. Is it complete? Is there anything else that I can submit or that I need to submit? As simple as that, and follow up on it, because a lot of times they'll find, oh, you said, but I didn't know, but we didn't receive it, so you have to resubmit. And again, everything is a process. It takes weeks sometimes for certain things to happen.
But somebody's going to have to show them and help them make that happen. These are the courses that you have to take. This is the track that you have to stay on. We're going to find money. We're going to do the college apps. We're going to do the FAFSA. We're going to do the scholarships. We're going to find the money for you. We can make those things happen.
Something that might set them apart to make them stand out when they're submitting an application for a scholarship, to be well-rounded, to be involved in a lot of different activities, extracurricular activities, be it sports, different organizations or clubs, volunteering in the community, maybe conferences they've gone to like NIEA.
Some of the things that I did to help myself out with getting scholarships is I did volunteer work. I've worked with several organizations throughout the years, helped out the YMCA and all these things, helping to guide other people, because I wanted them to have the same opportunities that I was getting at the time. And now that I'm here, I still go out and volunteer and I take my time, and that always helps for the job, for college, for the rest of your life.
We want to see what their goals are, how they're trying to reach their goals, things they've overcome, any obstacles and any triumphs they've had in getting to where they're at, and the things they're doing to get to where they're going and to where they see themselves going.
Another thing I really want to emphasize is that for students to be aware of the requirements and criteria for continued financial aid. Each institution has their policies on that. Learn that, most of them require that you pass all your classes with 2.0 or better. to maintain your continued eligibility.
It requires work, it requires dedication, commitment to maintain those scholarships and grants. You know, they don't just give it to you and say, here, have a good time with it. It's basically, you know, I mean, here you go, make sure that you maintain this sort of GPA, and you need to have a certain class load.
If something happens, there's other consequences. Learn what they are so that you don't totally get suspended from financial aid.
So if you want to go to college and you want to finish, you need to find that safeguard, because out there's a river of failure and frustration and agony and loneliness. It will always be there. But there are people that can help you cross that bridge, and you can make it.
I went to school, I did what I was supposed to do. Some things came easy, some things didn't.
It was so far away from home. I have no real close family out here.
I don't ask for help. And that's how I lived. I lived in this shell. I didn't take advantage of what college had to offer.
Didn't do real well and decided to drop out.
I was scared that it was just going to be so different than what I was used to.
I was afraid to go to the tutors because I was afraid to see all those red marks.
But realized very quickly that I really needed to go to college if I was going to make something of myself.
Crossing the bridge from Alabama to Oklahoma was a very long bridge. First thing I had to get over was the fear of making that journey by myself, because I have no close family out here. And the second was thinking that once I got here, I wasn't going to be able to meet any people, which is not true at all. This school has a very good support system.
So it's important when you need help to ask.
Because I didn't understand. They're there to make me better. They want me to get A's.
It's really important as a college student to go and find those resources to help you succeed in college.
Let him tell me what I need to know, and I need to be absorbing of that information.
If you have a goal, you know you can make it. You just have to put dedication and hard work into it.
Pulled myself up by the bootstraps and said, I'm going to do it.
When I got here, what I chose to do was listen and find out.
A lot of them worry about family responsibilities, but the best way they can do is sacrifice those few years, get educated so they can take care of their families better.
Those who fear losing their culture by crossing the bridge and going outside of their comfort zone, you just have to be true to yourself. I just know that my culture and my tribal heritage is just part of me.
It was difficult at first, but then I realized, I need to experience new things in life. And when I got out here, it wasn't so bad. There was people with similarities and people who gave me a lot of support here, so I got through it, and I really like it out here.
Focus and learn your priorities. College is a good time, it's a fun time to have new experiences, but it's also a time to learn how to be an adult and take care of yourself.
I think all of us every day are facing challenges. Some of us are facing major obstacles in our everyday lives that make a goal like going to college or going to graduate school seem insurmountable. But there are always ways to figure it out and to push through it. And it's about focusing on that goal and realizing why it is that you want to go to college or why it is that you want to go to graduate school, and continuing one day at a time to take those steps that you need to put in order to reach that goal.
You shouldn't just get by and work to get by and survive in college. I would like our Native youth to thrive in college and enjoy all the experiences that it has to offer and be involved and be out there.
One of the things that I did at the university was to join their Native American club. It helped me spiritually and culturally.
I made a lot of new friends out here, and they support me.
You have to make the effort. You have to take the initiative, find the tutor, find the type of help that you need.
I'm asking questions, I'm asking for help, and I don't know it all. And the more I don't know, it seems the more I'm successful, because I find people to help me overcome my challenges and to take advantage of my opportunities.
So the faculty members have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of resources for students, and it's opportunities to get involved in research to help define your interests, your aspirations, because they've been through the whole process and they've seen many, many students like you. So they're fantastic resources.
You get here, you do your homework, you focus on the goal, you say, I've got to get a degree, I've got to graduate, I've got to do this so I can have a more successful, enjoyable life. you'll succeed. That's the entire mantra you need right there. Just, I will succeed. I will do what it takes to succeed.
The most important thing that I learned in my academic career was to read and write, and to remember what I read. And putting that together with your cultural background, your intellectual background, I think when you begin to partner those things and apply those in a real life situation.
To stay in college, number one, you have to study, and you also have to organize.
You work a lot in class, and then they expect you to go home and work in your dorm rooms, but that's for a reason. These teachers know what they're doing.
Academic excellence, no excuses. It goes on through elementary, through high school, and through college excellence.
It's important to make those phone calls back home and to stay in contact with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles.
So really, when it comes right down to it, kids from small towns who have a real broad base of support, those are the ones that should do well. Those are the ones that should have that backdrop of love and encouragement that can get them through, and then they can come back and do neat things in their communities.
Every step that you go, you just think one more step ahead, and you're almost there. So you just keep going and going. You don't really get distracted.
I'm glad to say now I have 3 college degrees. I have an undergraduate degree and 2 master's degrees. And all of that I've done on my own since I had that turning point and realized that if I needed to do something and I was going to be successful, I really needed a college degree.
You stay focused on the goal, and it's so easy to lose track of that. So it's just really important to be confident and to stay true to yourself.
You have to keep your eye on what you're going for.
When I cross that bridge, I will see the accomplishment of graduating from college, and it will feel great knowing that I'll be able to come home and help my community and culture.
True esteem for yourself comes from you crossing that bridge and going and developing yourself and becoming better and challenging yourself in an environment where it's hard and you might fall down, you might fail, and you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and continue to do a great job. That's where true self-esteem comes from, is knowing that, hey, you know what? I put myself out there, I crossed that bridge into the unknown. I'm gaining skills, I'm failing in some cases. It's hard, it's difficult, but I'm making it. I achieved something. I've created something.
Sometimes we have to say, that's where I want to go. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to become. So we start looking, what is it that it would take to build a bridge?
I think many things you come upon in life are obstacles. How am I going to get from here to there? It could be a rushing river, it could be something, and so you sit down and say, well, what tools do I need to make that happen? It could be the tools you have around you. It could be in a forest, you building a bridge, for example. It could be, the advice of a grandparent or a brother or somebody that says, well, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? So now they give you an extra piece to build that bridge and something else on that span. Before you know it, you've covered that gap and now you're on the other side.
It does take determination to get there, but once you're there, you can show the world who you are and your heritage and the history and how beautiful of a people we are.
I want to travel the world and help other people. I'd like to go to third world countries and volunteer my time and stuff like that to help people who are a lot less fortunate than us.
And our quality of life is based on the ability to solve problems and build things and make this country what it is, and go to the moon and make a space station and build a space shuttle. It's all because people put time, effort into doing it. I want to make sure that the Native American students are representative of that.
Who better to serve our people than us? So to be able to come back with that college degree is so powerful to affect change in our communities.
Success leaves clues. There's a reason why these executives and managers are at the level they're at. They've done certain things, and no different with a Native person. If we choose to do certain things, use the tools, tips, and strategies that allow people to be successful, we will experience success as well.
But it's now our chance to take these degrees and come back and help our communities from the inside and through our cultural lens and in a way that is beneficial to our people and makes sense to our communities.
They have to have that drive to become someone better and do better things, whether it's helping somebody, inventing something.
There are a lot of obstacles out there for people to overcome, but if you're determined and you're focused and you have faith and believe in yourself, you can be anything that you want to be.
Do I really want this? And I have to say, yes, I want this, and get rid of the excuse and do it anyway.
Destiny's looking you in the face. It'll keep going. It won't stop for you, and you have to take full advantage of that opportunity. Some people call it seizing the moment.
If you tell yourself that I can accomplish this and I can do it, I will make it to college, I will go through college and graduate, then you're setting a goal for yourself.
I think the biggest strength is knowing that you have this whole history and all your relations and all your relatives standing behind you and wishing you well and being proud of you. And I always felt like whenever I was doing something that I felt alone in, I just kept thinking back, okay, I have all these relatives back home cheering me on and wanting me to succeed because it reflects good on them too. So I never really felt alone then, and just knowing that whatever I did and whatever impression I made to the outside world, it was reflecting very well back on my people.
You can never put yourself down, or else you will never accomplish anything.
Stand up for what's right, do the right thing even when other people are doing the wrong thing. People may not recognize it in the beginning, but eventually you'll be recognized for doing the right thing.
Actions speak louder than words. So if you say you're going to do it, that's hardly something, but if you actually do it, then you'll go further into life. Attitude is what keeps you going in life. You give yourself a good attitude, you give yourself a good future.
Listening to your mom and dad love you very, very much. They brought you into this world,
I like to thank my mom and my dad. They always encourage me to do good, stay away from, especially my dad and my grandparents on my dad's side, encourage me to stay away from bad stuff, drugs, friends that are involved with drugs.
Go out there and find out the information and do what it is you possibly can to make that dream into a reality. Listen to people that are older than you, because they definitely have life experience.
Along with your teachers, you have to give them that respect. They're there every day at a choice to teach you and get you ready for your life.
Strong muscles are built by pushing yourself to the point where it's hard and it's difficult and it hurts. And that's how strong people are built.
When you come to a long bridge, don't be discouraged. I'm not discouraged. I'm going to keep going until I get across that bridge and become a pediatrician.
Just take it step by step and slowly rise. You'll reach the top as far as you want to go.
You can never say, I'm going to give up, because you can always believe in yourself. And the more you believe in yourself, the more you'll accomplish in life.
Think about your future. Think about your actions and your consequence, because those are all your responsibility.
I just feel what's in my heart, and I use my head to make the most of the day.
One thing that made me want to change my lifestyle from drugs and alcohol is I saw the outcome of the people that live like that. I saw how alcoholism can really take a hold of you and make your life into nothing. It can take away everything from you. It takes away from your health. It takes away from your future. It takes away from your money. Same with drugs. It's not even a future to anything. It's a future to nothing. And I saw that and I thought, I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to live needing alcohol every day, needing drugs every day. I'm gonna go out there and go to work and earn a living rather than be at home all day just drinking. I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want that for my loved ones that love me. I wanted to overcome all that and become somebody stronger. And I don't use alcohol or drugs anymore at all. I don't need it. If people offer it to me, I don't take it. I just see the benefits of living every day without it.
Never put yourself down. Always keep good thoughts in your mind, keep your emotions good. Always feel good about yourself, because the more you feel good about yourself, the more you'll accomplish in your own life. You just gotta keep on moving forward.
The decisions that you're making today will be affecting your personal future, but also the future of your tribe and of your people, and take the power from that.
Being Native was important, and it was a part of me. Having a strong belief system was important. And I've just wrapped all those things in together, and that's who I am. And I'm hoping I'm building a bridge for myself, I'm building a bridge for my own family, and I'm building bridges for other children at this school so that they can see that's how we get places. There are times we're going to have bridges that may not be there, but we may have to build our own bridges to get to where we need to go.
Each person that is born into this world has a God-given gift. They just got to find it. And it's something that each young man or woman will love to do.
I just firmly believe that you are not a complete person if you do not have spirituality in your life. A lot of our kids go through hardships, and in those times they need to know that there is a higher power. There's someone there that loves them and cares about them even when they're in their darkest moments.
Well, it is important to pray every day. I pray every day, and then I know when something goes wrong in my life, the first thing I think to do is pray.
Just like what Howard Rayner talks about, it's to the point. It makes you to where you want to get off the couch and make you want to do something. And that's what I've been living my life on. That's what I base my life on.
I have the honor tonight to introduce Lifetime Achievement Award to Mr. Howard Rayner.
Our work is not done. If we are losing our young people, our work is not done. Become a voice of hope, a voice of confidence, a voice of victory for our people. There are so many tribes looking for college graduates today. There are so many communities that need your expertise and professionalism. There are so many places that need you, that need your services, that need your genius, that need your creativity. You have much to offer. Your history is rich. Your ancestors were powerful. You come from communities that have gone through many changes. You're one of those who's going to make a definite positive change for the better in the future.
I have courage to cross these bridges because I always say I can do this, and therefore that's what causes me to cross all these bridges.
I want to help people and make a difference. I have courage to cross those bridges because I have an enormous faith in God.
I have people that can help me. I have hope. I have God by my side, leading me through everything that goes through my life.